Hello guys, welcome to our healing journey for this year. And as you know, and we are bringing you the conversations again. So this year we have some awesome lineup for us for the videos, and yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I would let Nosipro introduce herself.
Hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's a new year. I know March is Kayla and we literally are in April, but you know, all things in good time. So welcome back to the conversations. And as Usma had already said, really we are continuing where we were last year, because one thing that we've just realized, this healing journey, as we've always said, it just doesn't stop. It's always going, and which means we are always having something to say. And we really hope that with everything that we've got lined up for this year in the actual conversation, that it helps us, it helps you along the way. And really we're looking forward to this year. Looking forward to this year. This year it's not just about Sma's story, it's about my story, it's about everyone else's story. And I think that's one of the most exciting things Isizo Zenza this year, is that it's not just going to be her and I. We are inviting other people also to have the conversations with us. As we've always said last year, we're not the experts, as in we don't have the psychology degrees behind us. So we want to bring people into the space who are able to speak into those areas, give us the tools, help us unpack into which aren't clear. And really it's going to be, we're calling this the year of healing.
The year of healing. And we're just inviting everyone to be part of it. Like she said, it is not about me or her, it is about me, her, and everyone else who is going through what we are going through. And as well, just for disclaimer, we are not experts. So this is based on a personal story, personal trauma, personal grieving, and personal experience on how to tackle our mental health.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. So my purpose of having these conversations, it's easily to share the trauma that I went through as a child, and to share the trauma around grieving, and to share the trauma around gender-based violence as well. Having been a child that started witnessing my mom's gender-based violence at the age of, I think, 7, if not 8 than that. At some point, I thought I was over and done with that, or at some point I thought I was a strong child, so that didn't affect me. Until Sma was at her 20s and obviously started engaging in relationships, and some relationships start to become serious. And then the trauma starts creeping in and says, hello, have you forgotten about me? So yeah, my purpose is to just share how I feel. And I think also the reason why, or where I got the strength to share my journey was after losing mom, something in me shifted. I think I didn't just lose mom, but because I lost her through gender-based violence, it kind of evoked all the trauma of gender-based violence. And part of it is that I was praying to God, can you please take away this pain of grieving? And I think through God, what He wanted me to do, or how He answered, He said to me, talk about it. Share your pain. And I realized through sharing, it becomes better.
Yeah.
The pain becomes a bit bearable. And just hearing stories from other people helps me understand that, okay, I'm not alone in this grieving thingy, and also in the trauma as well. So that is my purpose of sharing my stories with everyone, and obviously hoping that it sits on someone else and they are able to realize their own trauma and find ways of managing their trauma, and also seeking out help, because also seeking out help helps you understand how to manage it, and then helps you understand that actually you're not the only one who's going through it. And for me, it helps. I think talking helps. I feel like the more you talk, it's the more it gets lighter, and it's the more it gets easier for you to share your story without you crying as well. Because before I could never talk about my mom and not cry. But now I'm like, baby girl, okay, So that is the purpose for me sharing the entire stories, and obviously going to Nosipho to help me understand, help me navigate these conversations as well, because also she comes from a self-coaching perspective, of which is another way or another person that you would usually go to when you want to manage, to tackle, to understand your journey in life.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that is why I started these conversations. But obviously, I'm just inviting everyone to be part of it, and let's talk. Let's make mental health conversations fashionable.
Yeah.
Let's make them trend. Let's not wait for someone to take their life away for us to say, oh yeah, depression, mental health, make it trend, and then the next thing it dies down.
Yeah.
Let's have conversations. Let's hold spaces where we are able to share. Let's not hold spaces to celebrate businesses, to celebrate life journeys. Let's celebrate also mental health, because that is also an important part of our lives. So yeah, that's my purpose. What is your purpose for being part of my purpose?
I think you mentioned such beautiful things. There's the taking the stigma away from what mental health is. I always say, when you're sick,
Yes.
and you've got a toothache, you go to a dentist and they take care of your oral health. When you decide to grow your family and have children, you go to a midwife or OBGYN, and there's someone who takes care of that. But our mind is such an important part, because a lot of who we are really, our thoughts and how we are affected in life. And there are people who actually are experts and doctors. So my purpose in all of this is making mental health as normal and part of life as with everything else. And I think this is just one of the avenues where, as you've said, it's about conversation. Let's have the conversations. I have got a toothache, and you easily say to me, oh, I've got a dentist down the road now. So you should be able to come to me and say, I'm actually feeling so anxious today, I'm not sure what's going on. And you should be able to have the conversation without any judgment, without any stigmas. So this is one of my purposes of actually being on this journey. Healing is a big thing for me.
It is.
Purely because a healed vessel moves through life in a totally different way as a broken vessel. And when you are healed, by healing also, we don't mean those things disappear and they no longer help and they no longer exist. No, those things happened to you. And they happen, but it doesn't mean that you are now locked into them and locked into whatever people did to you or whatever people said to you. You have the responsibility and the power to say those things are building blocks of who Usma is. And so one of my purposes really is to make healing natural in life. If you have a soul, we are silapa, and you continue with life. So I'm very big on healing, because your perspective in life changes when you move through life as a healed and self-aware vessel. While I'm here also, I just love talking. But I love talking if we walk away and we're better people.
Yes.
So that's my biggest thing, is that the purpose is that when we walk away from these conversations with each other, and whoever else out there, that you walk away better than how you came in. And the purpose for us is to make it natural, to speak about our traumas, to know that that you're not alone in this. We are human beings, which means we are not perfect, which means kunezinto ezizoshaya along the way, which means it's okay, and you're not alone. And the beauty of stories is that you realize you're not alone, but also you build community.
Yes.
And I think that's really what we want to build. We want to build community in this journey of healing. And let's actually just live our best lives. When it's not fit your life, I say fit your healing.
And just to touch back onto when you said mangabu neslonda, we are slap, and then carry on with life. Now this is what happens. When neslonda, uslape, ube neqashaza lisala, the scar. But obviously leso scar asisabi buhlungu. It's just a reminder of what happened.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to healing, is yes, you would have the trauma, or you would have that mental health issue that you want to deal with. And then when you heal, it's not that you heal and then get paid. You heal and then it stays there, and then it becomes a reminder of actually in life I've been through this and I moved on, you know. And sometimes it's not about forgetting, trying to forget. I think that's one thing. You don't forget. I think for me, the reason why my trauma then piled up to what it became a big giant, a big monster, was because I wanted to forget. You know, I didn't want to work through it. I didn't want to work on my trauma. I wanted to forget. And it later backfired. So yes, guys, that is the purpose that we want to bring in this year, or the purpose of why we started these conversations, is because we just want to share, you know, based on personal stories and just understanding how we maneuvered around those traumas. And I mean, those days where I'd send in a text and say, I am on fire. My anxieties are like skyrocketing. I don't know what's happening. I have a panic attack and I'm not okay. And then she'll you know, help me calm down, you know.
I just had to go drink some Coke.
This other day she said to me, remove your shoes and walk outside. And it helped. I started walking outside, and I think the coldness of the floor outside kind of helped me, you know, calm down, because guys, it happens.
And so that's one of the things we also want to bring this year, in the many things. So they're talking to different people, getting different views and perspectives on things. It's also about bringing us tools, tools on how we can actually manage our healing and our mental health breakdown moments in the time that it's actually happening. So she speaks about Gatigela, go take off your shoes, and that is actually a simple grounding exercise where you actually just start to feel the environment around you to help you stabilize yourself when you feel that parati, things are not going right. So those are the kind of things we'll be sharing and bringing to everyone this year. Just some tips and tools on just outside of sitting in my therapist's chair and having those 1 hour moments. What else can I do when I'm sitting in traffic and something triggers me?
Oh, guys, traffic used to trigger me a lot. When I used to drive, especially when I would drive between Pretoria and Soweto, in the afternoon, I'd feel like switching off the car, pick it up, put it aside, and then just stay. But I remember this one time it happened, and I literally parked on the side. I was like, I'm going to wait for this traffic jam to be over and then I can drive, because all of a sudden there was just a claustrophobia going on, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? But yeah,
so tools on how to manage, and then I think one of the biggest things with that is that we'll say we are bringing tools and we're bringing all these things, but we will always advocate for you to go to the professionals. Always go to the professionals when you realize sengiphezu kwami manje, noma actually angisazi kwenzakalani, and the tools are no longer working and this is no longer working, and we advocate for therapy. We love therapy.
Guys,
it helps. And it's also one of the things we want to take a stigma around. Go to therapy, because odokotela are mental health, just like with the dentist, so that is why we're here. We look forward to just the conversations we're going to have this year, and we also just ask for your grace, your grace in just allowing us into your space, your grace in allowing us. Maybe if you don't come out for another 3 weeks, as life happens, we will do our best to really share as often as possible. We are also navigating life. I think one of the lessons we are learning is that how do you navigate life with all the things that you need to do? So we ask for your grace, we ask for your engagement. We would love to hear from you every single time, your comments, your sharing, because they encourage us. They encourage us. People are actually interacting, and let's continue doing this. So welcome to 2022. Welcome to the year of healing. Thank you, Sma, for starting this all for us last year, and always being on my case. So we need to have another conversation. So thank you for that. So I'm also privileged to be here, and I thank you guys all just for being a part of this journey with us.
Thank you guys, and we will see you on the next video. And we will be sharing a topic for the month of March. We know the month of March is coming to an end, but yeah, we have a topic for the month of March that we have been, digesting, would see. So team, but yeah, stay tuned guys, we'll see you on the next video.